To thank all of you for coming here tonight. I am working on an event which will happen in September here in Boston on the 14th. It's the 140 conference in Boston. Just curious, how many people here have been to a 140 conference before? Yay.
Yay.
So Steve.
Also Steve.
So Steve, what type of speakers am I looking for the conference? What do you think?
You're looking for speakers who do not use PowerPoint.
Okay.
How about keynote?
No, you know what? About video.
Video's okay.
Yeah, so
Hard to run, but
what you're looking for,
How about a whiteboard?
these speakers need to be aware of the time that they're allotted, because the way the 140 conference goes is there are a lot of speakers and you got to get through them all, right?
yes, we have individual talks are 10 minutes, keynotes are 15 minutes, and panel discussions no more than 20 minutes. But we are looking for people who are passionate and people who are driven. The actual conference itself has evolved. It was a year ago last week that the first 140 took place in New York City. And since then, I've been fortunate to run these events in New York, LA, London, Tel Aviv, Barcelona, South by Southwest, New York City again, last week in Washington, D.C. Next up is Tel Aviv in July, 2 weeks. And then we have San Francisco, Los Angeles, Detroit, yes. So, but at all these events, what I look for are people who are passionate, people that are driven, and people that are affecting change. I have a theory about what the world, like how many people here, I assume you're all active on Twitter? Yes? Most of you? How many? What? I mean, how many people here, when they're online, hear people's voices in their heads as far as the people they're talking to? Anyone? Yeah.
And when you're not,
Someone else's voice.
Your voice? Well, it's not what the voices tell you, but I hear Steve Garfield's voice. I hear Steve
For all your tweets?
every time I see
More than just tweets.
Hi, I'm Steve Garfield from SteveGarfield.com. I always hear that. But I think what's important is that we're living in a very different time. That the world that we're living in is changing, and any of you who have been in business for more than a year or so have been disrupted, whether you like it or not. One of the things I discovered around the world as I traveled to different places and met some incredible people is that it did not matter what sector you're in, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in public safety, whether you're in the music industry, if you're into video, whether you are a politician or a celebrity, the way you connect with people has changed fundamentally. And like 3 years ago, mommy bloggers became cool. It wasn't that mommies weren't always cool, but something fundamentally changed, right? And one of the things that's happening is that companies realize they have to listen to you. Because if you look at the history of the internet, I'd argue from 1993 when it went commercial till sometime in 2007, we were in one phase where people went to places like Google and asked questions. And then as more and more people discovered platforms like Twitter, where Steve says something and I say something and Barbara says something and Ellen says something, all of a sudden voices rise. And it's the rise of the voices that give way to people's ability to have power and to affect change. And that, to the extent that any one of you or each of you are now active in this medium, whether you're connecting with individuals or representing brands, things are different now. And I mean, I would argue that how many people here work for brands? I would argue that everyone here works for a brand. It's yourself. That, in fact, you are your own brand, and the way you brand yourself is a reflection of who you are, what you say, and what you do. And that what these conferences are looking at is the systemic change of what the real-time internet is doing to you as a person, what it's doing to your business, and how things are changing overall. And that, at the end of the day, when history books are written, I think you'll discover that we're living through a revolution. It's not communism, socialism, it's not fascism, but there's an ism. It's a Steveism, maybe. But, right.
the Garfieldism.
It's a something-ism. But in most revolutions you have a very strong, charismatic leader that affects change. Here, the change is more democratized. Because what's happening is that individual people, it's almost like sci-fi. If you read, I don't know, Dune or see The Matrix, you know, there's always a prophecy that one day somebody will be born that people should fear, and one day when this person is born will have powers, and when they believe in themselves, they can affect change in a big way. Here, there are many people around the world that are doing amazing things on the internet. Whether you're building classrooms in Tanzania, whether or not you're creating your own Make-A-Wish Foundation, whether or not you're just changing education. Individual people are doing amazing things because they're able to do something and their voices get amplified. And and those are the me. So it's not a revolution about we the people, it's a revolution about me the people. And that one of the things we're embracing at the conference are the individual people that are doing amazing, great things. Typically they're passionate about it, but these are the me's that are changing the world as you know it. And when these and at the events, we're sort of looking at how technology changes things, but how the world's changing too. And so it's September 14th is the conference here in Boston. I'm looking for people who are passionate, people like Steve who just make things happen. And if you have an idea, whether you want to speak at the conference or know someone or are passionate about something, please let me know. You're invited. I want to thank Ellen for making this happen here tonight. I do want to thank the Colonnade Hotel also.
I'm passionate about you.
And the Seaport Hotel.
I've discovered ways to travel across America for free. No, it's a very powerful medium because at the end of the day, one of the things these conferences I do offer is influence. We had 177 speakers at the New York conference. We represented, deduped 10.3 million people. And the audience represented something like 14 million, so that if you deduped all the followers of everyone in the 1,000+ people that came to the conference in New York, we represented over 14 million people. What was even more amazing to me is we live streamed the event. We had 128,000 people watch us while we were live. Wow. And we were archiving our content in real time, and we had 35,000 views of our content before the conference ended.
Yep.
So and we were seen in 80 countries around the world while this was happening.
You had a 140 event in Nairobi over the weekend.
Well, there's a group of enthusiasts who love the real-time web, who live in Nairobi, who asked if they could use the meetup group to promote the real-time web in Kenya. I said, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? You know,
They
so
did.
we actually had a really good gathering, I'm told. Got good ratings anyway on your meetup.
Yeah.
But you know, in Washington D.C. last week, Blake spoke. He spoke about Enterprise 2.0 in the military. What was incredible was we had a room that maybe had 200 people, maybe. But while Blake was speaking on Ustream, we went from 1,200 viewers up to 1,900. So while we actually had many more people watching us live than actually were there, and so you kind of almost lose perspective of the fact that sometimes you just talk to the camera. But there's some incredible things happening. If any of you have any relationships with celebrities, particularly in the music industry, people on TV, actors, actresses, and local media, I'm always looking for contacts in that sphere because part of the conference is to provide a platform for people who are living in the spotlight. And what I love discovering are people who are not. I used to run a record label, and I used to love going to bars and finding bands to try to sign. And here, what I needed your help is to do high-tech A&R. Help find the people that are unknown but doing great things. And I'm more than happy to share our stage with those people so they get discovered, so their voices get amplified. And I need your help. So whether you want to speak or not speak at the conference, that's your choice. I'm here to be pitched. You can feel free to just go to the 140conf.com website or go to 140.vg/speak at 140.